So let's talk about some music stuff for a bit, right? So
Right.
before we get to the album discussion, right? The album that everybody's been talking about last weekend, right? Yeah, we just had to touch briefly on, this news report, if you will, that came out a few days before that, right? With we boy Timbaland, right? Tim Mosley,
Yeah.
iconic producer of occasional rap and whatnot, right? Yeah, wanting to go into the route of AI
Right.
and going as far as saying, here's what, I'm going to have my own specific AI record label, and I have my own artist, my first artist. I
Right.
forgot the name of her because,
Yeah. So he was
it's a,
calling it.
it's a
He was calling it A-pop.
yeah,
Um. Right. It's kind of weird,
yeah,
and I don't know. This whole thing just kind of icky to a lot of people because of how he going about it in particular. Like this, to me, this is like one of the worst case scenarios. Like, okay, this is the thing we worried about. Because especially Timbaland's career himself. Like Timbaland has always been a pretty good guy in terms of like he shaped the industry, but he himself also has like kind of not necessarily accusations, but like the conceit of hip hop itself. Like this, and the way how they're treating it, they're being very dismissive of the whole thing. It's like, yeah, but Timbo, you kind of like pulling from people and biting from people in all the worst ways. Like, I know that's how you pull from, and you have to settle stuff off for the court. Like, Hosara, if you know, you know. But, uh, yeah, Timbo, that's not even the best way to go about this. I'm sorry. Like, kind of weird, right? Well,
yeah. Well, the thing is with me, right? And believe it or not, this is actually going to relate to a certain song that pops up in the album, right? So I like the fact that artists who are in their 50s, right, who made a splash in the 90s and 2000s, that really carved their names as like iconic rappers or whatnot, right, are still finding ways to continue to continue doing their art, right, their creativity and whatnot, right. So I think last time I really heard from Timbaland was, I think like he had a masterclass on production, I think it was, and I know
right,
he did music for Empire, which is a show that I still defend, even though a lot of people sort of dismiss
right.
it. But I like the show, right? Like it's not power, but it was cool, right? But whatever. But yeah, when an icon like Timbaland, right, who is known for his innovation when it comes to hip hop and R&B and pop production, right? Comes out of the blue and says, you know what, I'm gonna do this AI thing. It just
Right.
feels like almost like you're just scratching, like you're just clawing your way, like you're just trying to claw your way back up to being relevant, to being a name that pops up in discussions and whatnot. It just feels like you just have no other options, no other directions, and
Uh,
you say, you know what, hey, AI might be the way. It's like,
Here's the thing,
no,
eh? So I'm not like when it comes to the actual discussion about AI in its relation to like music, like it's like anything else. Anybody who doing the half-ass kind of non-job that a lot of people used to have, like you admit it, we could get. I don't want to get into any big kind of political bag, but David Graeber, right? Have a lot of bullshit jobs, and it have a lot of jobs that all you do is just read an email because only a human create an email. But now AI can replace that. That could go away, and like look, frankly, I don't really care if that go away. I mean, I know somebody had to feed their family, blah blah blah, eat their food, blah blah blah. But like that part of it, I really give a shit about because a person with real skills don't have to worry about this. Like AI could do this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, it's still a human having to cater to it. So like somebody could still make something super creative. My problem with Timbaland is that he doing the kind of negging, undermining on this concept where you notice he just talking shit, but he's still gonna try to make money off of these people that he talking shit about. I was like, well, if you're doing this, then why not do that? That whole thing that's coming across like a kind of bad feet kind of thing from his perspective. And to me, I'm not really worried that he's gonna make a AI hip hop thing. What I think is that he's gonna basically make like the AI Nelly Furtado. That's the comparison I'm making in my head. So it's like, okay, what are you gonna do if it's a thing? Because kind of weird that he's a woman, right? Like it's a female thing. What are you doing that for? Because he's
that's
doing
a
to the
good
time
point.
of
Yeah.
the period where he was making the most money. Like to me, in terms of his raw popularity, that it was
Yes,
that
like
Nelly
like
Furtado
like
era, right?
Promiscuous Girl is
Yeah,
still
exactly.
one of his
The True
most
banner.
memorable songs. That
Yeah,
and The Way You Are, right? Which
exactly.
could have just been a normal song with Timbaland and that dude, whoever his name is, who show up in the third verse. But it's
Right.
really the girl who sings on the hook. That is what made the
Exactly.
song so timeless, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And look again, Timbaland is a man. Look, how much yeah, how much Indian and Egyptian movie or whatever does he pull from? Like that's the problem. Like Timbaland always kind of had a working career for that kind of exploitation, and that's my problem with all of this. Like Timbaland just he acting as if, well, these new churn and thing is trash, and then had no problem turning around and taking the shit. Now. And if it could sort it out in that legal sense, and we could bust we call him Ting Truth over where's that brother
Kanye.
boy? Not Kanye. Oh gosh, when Pharrell and oh gosh, I forget how
Or Robin Tick with Blue
Robin
Lines.
Thicke, thank you.
Right, right.
Right, right. Remember the Ting family
Yeah,
busted through over
Marvin
that.
Gaye. Yeah.
That's my thing. Like it's more deeper problem when it comes to the legal conceits of these things. Like again, but my problem is that dude Timbaland, if he was like a nice guy and doing this thing and then kind of bringing people in, he wasn't doing that. His whole attitude is that well, all is trash anyway, and most all beats is trash, and he kind of right. I'll admit that there's some truth to his conceit, but it's still kind of weird and it just kind of weird and icky, and I don't know. There's like a really bad precedent. It's real weird. However, the point is that from a music standpoint, I do think like AI could do anything that's super impressive. They will just give it something standard at best. You're gonna, and that's the problem is that we had a whole era of mediocre SoundCloud rappers that were just biting off of actual talent who innovate. So AI gonna obviously replace that, no shit, because you were the AI before AI was AI. Like I'd have a lot of dudes like this, a lot of mediocre dudes like this who never had no intention of getting better or improving the art in any meaningful way. Like if AI didn't show up, you'd still be doing the same shitty thing and it like just biting off of somebody else's style or whatever it is. So I don't know. Like I think, but I don't know. Just the way Timbaland going about it and just coming across as really like shitty and unapologetic about it. Like that second response he did to the whole thing was like really really shitty. Like he did a video saying that oh you have no talent and telling all these guys they have no talent. I'm like wait you don't go about it like that, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's my last thing on that. I don't really have anything else to say or to add to the conversation in any meaningful sense other than Timbaland is not the best look right now.
Yeah. Well, for me, what really intrigues me and concerns me actually, right, is the fact that okay, so I understand, right, with your what decades long experience in the game, right, like almost 30. Let me just say almost 40 years, right? In
Right.
the game, right? In the music industry and whatnot, right? I am all for continuing to expand your creativity and being experimental and trying things out. Actually, believe it or not, he actually has a new record out. I forget the name of it right now, but I know it's basically an instrumental album, but he's more pulling from like I think it's
Right.
more Afrobeat stuff, right? That's all I know. I haven't really checked it out as yet, right? Some
And to be fair,
hmm,
it's not like again, it's not like I have some necessarily anti AI thing. It's just the low effort, half-assedness of the whole point. Now, people gonna make good
yeah,
shit out of it. People gonna do something weird out of it and make it interesting. Like what Kanye was doing, not
hmm
fun,
yeah, yeah,
right? You
exactly.
know, just slapping his voice on another person like worker, like Kanye, you could unless you're really compensating them, then fine, I suppose. But then, like, what potentially, somebody who I would have no problem defending on a creative level, doing AI stuff, and he might do something interesting with it, maybe. Lupe Fiasco, right? Like, what's going on with him and AI? I still haven't seen anything, or I haven't, well, to be fair, I haven't like kept up with it. I just see it in a couple like headlines. But he might be doing something interesting. Ultimately, we don't know, right? Again, none of this is really AI. It's just ramping up what you could do in terms of copying your work or skills. That is all it is, right? It's just the generative AI stuff. And I'm still not super impressed with any of this from a technical standpoint, but it's there and it provides a lot of tools that we could other people wouldn't have otherwise. At least that's all I see. I mean, getting mad at AI is like getting mad at autotune or the drum machine or something like that. Like right now, that's where it is. Right, it's the new drum machine. Right, it's doing a thing that you would usually have to pay somebody else for, and a limited amount of skills, and now you can just spread it, and that is what we have. Right, it shaped the paradigm. My problem is that Timbaland being kind of shitty about it, and then on top of that, he catered to a company that clearly they were sued. This company was sued for stealing people's shit. So it's like, Timbo, distance yourself from this, please.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one last point I'll make, and then we move forward. Right? It's just for me now. Like, I would be cool if you were using the AI software it is to enhance your production skills, or maybe just to like distort a voice or whatever it is. Like something that, as you keep saying, you use it as a tool to enhance what it is you're doing, right? But now you're saying you just want to create this full artist, right? From the ground up, literally from the ground up, right? While there are other hungry, talented real life singers and rappers out there that you could be signing and put pretty much putting them on the map. Like
Yeah,
them two individuals who was on that song The Way You Are, who by the way I don't know who they are. I just know them by just the
but I
vocals
said,
of that song. You could do that. You
yeah,
could put out another shock value tree. No, I have no problem with another shock value tree, but now you're saying, well, bun that new just a full AI artist. That's all we need. It's like, come on, man. It's like you're regressing, man, from who you were back in 2000s. That's my
that's
thought.
why, yeah, that's where it's going. Because again, I don't think Timbaland doing anything new from an actual creative standpoint. Like I'm not seeing where you're gonna get that conceit to that. He just look like he just wanted us. Listen, we already had this with Drake, right? Where he just kind of jump in front of our talent and then take the talent before they could get a chance to do anything with it. That's like number one Drake crime to the industry, right? That's why people don't like Drake, because he's always do this weird shit and then effectively create a sweatshop. Um, so that's the whole thing. That's what coming across here. That's ramping up this sweatshop slave master thing now. And it's really coming across like some, black slave master nonsense now on Temple Park. That's why it's really feeling like that, right? I don't know enough, I sure will come out thing, but the way how you moving and behaving, it coming across like that. And because of his name, he doing something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Time to tell with this, but this is, I think, worth mentioning, and it's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird, but like this is the world we in right now. This is the world we at.
Yeah,
Timbaland, right? The guy who we've adored, right? For decades is now doing AI music with that AI artist. It's weird, but yeah. Moving on now. Let's touch on the Carter 6, right? So little story, right? Once upon a time, right? When I messaged you Friday morning, I was like, this is what I want to do, blah blah blah, right? And then you just basically mentioned,
Right.
if we should talk about the Carter 6. I was
Listen,
like,
I was so shocked that everybody responded to Carter 6 negatively. Like every
yes,
reaction
way,
video have the same face, screw face, strop face thing.
yeah.
The thing I like, what's going on here? But then I listened to it myself, I was like, oh no, Ray, what's
And
going
speaking of
on?
Screwface, yeah, even Screwface, John put up some too. I see the face, boy. I was
Right,
like, yeah, I see No Life Shack do the same thing too, right? But here's the
right,
thing, I
right,
didn't even look up online to see any reactions. Well, I should say, I saw one thumbnail before I jumped into the record, and it was if he looked like, Wayne, what you doing, right? But yeah,
yeah,
because of my Fiverr schedule and whatnot, I tell myself, here's what, like, if I don't listen to it today, as in Friday, I probably would not even listen to it at all, right? So that's how it
right,
be sometimes. So I sat down, and admittedly, folks, I only gave it 2 listens on that Friday. I was supposed to do a recap over the weekend, but I was just busy, right? But I heard enough for me to get a full idea of how I feel about it, right? So allow me to just lay it out there, folks. I am not, while I do appreciate Lil Wayne, and I do regard him as one of the goats when it comes to
right,
lyricism, right, in hip hop, right?
right,
Because yeah, what he has been doing from since the mixtapes and the Carter series up to this point, yeah, I mean it's unparalleled, right? His technical skills is up there, right? How he constructs rhyme schemes are superb, right?
right,
And yeah, you can laugh and joke like, oh, the little goofy line and the cringe line and the crass bar and the,
right.
but is the rhyme schemes, how you will just put rhymes together is amazing to me, right? But saying this too, because I am not like a Wheezy stan, right? So I will not
Right.
say, oh, dedication is better than Carter Tree. You know what I mean? I am more
Right.
going off the albums more than the mixtapes, right? I know a lot of people, I know
I
for the fans know, hey, mixtape Wayne versus album Wayne, and they could
right.
differentiate between the two. Not me. I just know album stuff, singles. That's really all I know, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
for me, listen. I was a Wayne stan until Carter 4, Carter 5, right?
Oh,
The
yeah,
three
yeah,
Carter
yeah,
4,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then I remember the day I realized, boy, I probably had to give up on way there. The day was that WrestleMania performance.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That
yeah. A
was
couple
rough.
years ago.
That was rough to watch. Yeah, that was rough to watch. That was real rough to watch. And then, like, I can't help but think of what do you call him?
Kendrick.
Push on infrared, right?
Oh,
No, push on
oh, oh.
infrared.
Oh,
Niggas,
right. Yes,
niggas
can you
looking.
call him out on it? I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Listen. That is a lie. Oh, now it's okay to kill a baby. Niggas look at me crazy like I really killed a baby. Salute Ross, cause the message was pure. He see what I see when you see Wade on tour, flashing on the
Right.
fire, another multi-platinum rapper that can't retire. Niggas get exposed. I see the cracks at I'm the liar. I like, oh my god, this come true. Listen, I don't know. Wayne, here's the thing. So Wayne not completely washed with this album. I don't think so. Even given his age, yeah, because Wayne is like what, 42 whatever it is,
He's
right?
42. He's 42.
Yeah. So you're not like completely washed or not like that. And like to be honest, like the reason I latch on to Wayne is because he was so young. It's like, oh shit, like Wayne is my age, dude. Like, and he just spitting so hard, so young now. Like I put him in the category of like Nas, like this kind of prodigy, you know, starting your career young. In my head, I was like, yeah, in 10 years, Wayne gonna be the biggest fucking thing ever. And so said, so done. That's exactly what happened. Like I remember when Tap Out came out, I'm like, holy shit, that just knocked everything on its head. And this other just bust. I mean, when Carter 3 come out, that was it, right?
Yeah, that was 2008. A great year. A
Yeah,
great year.
I love Carter 1, love Carter 2. Great.
Yeah, but three is the magnum opus in my opinion. I know a lot of people say, actually one was better. No, I think three is the masterpiece in my opinion.
Three is the masterpiece, yes, for real. And I this coming from somebody who loved 4, And like so when we went 5 hit and like wait, this not hitting that strong, and then slowly but surely realized Wayne kinda doing that lead a little too much.
Yeah, boy.
Wayne kinda cooking a little bit, and like, oh boy. And then that WrestleMania performance, I was like, nah boy, Wayne kinda done, kinda cooked.
Yeah.
And this album, I think this album, what with Wayne is that Wayne, yes, like we can get into this argument, and I'm sure people could probably have a counterpoint to this, but Wayne has never been a super introspective rapper.
No.
I admit that. So to me, I find you had to get somebody like to bounce off of him now. Like I've always said, right now, the paradigm for where hip hop should go, in my humble opinion, is just one really great producer, one really great artist. One for one.
Yeah.
Kanye push.
Common and Pete Rock. Yeah.
Right.
Who else? LL Cool J, Q-Tip. Yeah.
Right. You give me one for one and make it one. I think we need that. You gotta get somebody, sit down with him, work it up. Because this felt like a bunch of unfinished, scattered ideas. That's
yes.
And I just fold in my hands and just saying, it have a here, there's a there.
Yes.
In putting it together, even the goofy tracks could have be something like the elephant peanut thing.
Yeah, which you'll get to. We have to talk about that, like for sure.
And there's no producers there, and like.
Here's the thing. I went up on this is on my second listen. Because normally I'll just listen to the album straight through. I wouldn't read lyrics, right? But then in my second or third listen, I'll go on Genius. I'll read the lyrics, right? Second listen, I went in there and I see Lin-Manuel Miranda producer. I'm like, the fuck.
Dude, he out of all people could have give me something with Wayne, and I get what Wayne trying to go for. Like it feeling like Wayne trying to be eclectic. But the problem with eclecture is that you have to, at least reach a level of competency to put it in, and that's my problem. So we getting something kind of weird with this, but you're not really doing anything interesting or cooking properly. This same thing with the guitar play stuff. Or you bring in freaking with this Bono was on this.
Yes.
Again, none of it feeling tight together or made like a low effort thing. And so I borrowed this from this fella from I was listening to them boys Rap Latte, and they made the point that somebody like Tyler Creator could come on.
Yeah, and, that would be so great though. Right. Like if it was like Tyler Beats over Lil Wayne, and on occasion they rap on the album, that would be great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You do basically the Martians and Goblins, remember? Right.
Mm-hmm. And you tie that together. But that's the problem. This felt so, not even, actually call it undercooked. It's like, you need to put it in the oven.
Yeah. It feels like you just had all these ideas, but you just didn't know how to put them together. And you didn't even, like I say, you didn't even bother to put it in the oven.
You put all these ingredients and so on. And I watching this pizza. And like, well, you gotta put it in the oven, right? Like, no, you gotta eat this pizza now. Like, bro, at least put it in our microwave now. Like, something though. Like,
exactly, boy.
Shut up for this out. Sure, that's weird. I don't know. I give this a year. Let thing chop it down, because like a big part of my album, like I don't know where to go about this album. The album fucking long,
Yeah, it's about like it's 18 tracks in total. No, sorry, 19 tracks. Yeah.
And you can easily cut half. Like that's your first instinct with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, boy. And another thing too is like I admit it, like the legacy of the Carter is what make it a thing. It's like it's the Carter. Like it's the Carter 6 now. So like I think if you call it something else, when you get it won't sting as bad. It'll still sting. But what does think as bad? But like, this is the Carter 6 boy. Come now, man. Come now,
Exactly,
man.
boy. So if you don't mind, I'll just sort
Oh,
of
yeah,
run
right.
through just how I felt like just listening to the
Right.
record, right? So
Okay, well, a quick last point. Now, somebody made a point, and it is again, I forget the guy's name, but shout out to Rap Latte because they did a great like beat on this now. A lot of people think a lot of this tied to the whole Super Bowl thing. That
you
the
know,
reason that
good
it's
point to them.
designed like this is because it's more him trying to like sell it off and TikTokify it now. So that's what it feels like. It feels like a kind of bunch of unfinished TikTok songs that he's latching his name on to spread it as memes now. That's why it's so unfinished and just kind of shitty now. And I think, sorry to say that, unfortunately, one of the worst kind of incentive structures right now. Right, I like TikTok as a platform, kind of, but like it's a really bad incentive structure for music because all it's doing is just type it up like 5 seconds of a song for some meme or something like that.
Dochi anxiety, anyone? Just
Which is
saying.
fine because
Just saying. Just saying.
but as a whole, yeah, and in her case, them fight she down because of that she don't want to release it.
Yeah.
And then now them jumping on because they fed up her hair. And it's like, all the motherfuckers is the one who push you to do it.
Thank
like,
you.
Yeah. Yeah, but whatever. But the point is, like, it really feel like I intentional effort to, like, do this TikTokify meme crap now. Like, bro, no, make music, dude. You know how to change. You out all people know how to change. It really feel like that. It really felt like, and like I hear, well, it was because if he had to get a Super Bowl, and if he get a Super Bowl, we'd be talking about this album differently, at least from a Matrix perspective. Like, maybe possible what if, like, I could kind of understand the logic of, but I don't know, still, this was a real serious fail, Dreads.
Yes, boy, yeah.
I'm glad, I am happy the community and the culture came on my side on this, because really wanted to go have a set about defending this nonsense, like with Kanye.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Too many Kanye defenders on the music perspective side of it. Like, forget politics. Kanye's music has been really bad for me. Like, it was debatable, and then it stopped being debatable at a certain point for me. It's like, and I thought, I'm glad everybody jump on wait for this. He had to take a L for you.
Nah, indeed, but you know, while I was listening to this, I was like, is this as bad as Rebirth was back in 2010? Or worse off? I don't think it is worse. I don't think it's worse than Rebirth. Rebirth just felt way too it was just like, all right, you want to do rap rock, okay, but just make better rap rock songs. That's all. It's not because your voice is the reason why I could sell it. You gotta just make better songs. That's all, right? So I'll admit, right, when it comes to Carter 6, right, let me just say, not really a review so much, but that's how I felt, right? I think it started off okay, right? It started off promising with his skit, King Carter, right?
It was listenable.
Yeah, and right, the first song, Welcome to the Carter, was cool, right? I like the beat, I like the soulful beat that Welcome to the Carter. Like, it's building up everything there, you know? It works, right? And then flow-wise, I mean, Wayne is just killing it, right? With the bars and whatnot, right? Then they get to Bells, right? And like, all right, he doing the L Cool J Rock the Bells thing, okay.
Right.
I wish the beat slapped harder, but all right, they're still incorporating the.
People say he just trying to do like what Kendrick do with Reincarnated and Tupac.
Good point. I didn't think about it like that.
I don't know. Like, again, I just more me speculating. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it really feels like that. Oh, yeah, he catering to the style of an old person kind of thing. But Kendrick do something like actually interesting with that too. So it's like, we doing this. I get it, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, and you know, I was digging this song. I didn't really feel the hook with the bells. It's something about that, like, nah, that feel too undercooked. And then of course that last bar on the second verse with the wong ding ding dong. No. Why are we doing this in 2025, bro? No, right? Then we get a song called Hip Hop, which is weird to me because the song doesn't even celebrate hip hop. It just feels more like some retread of an old, like, 2000s Southern hip hop song and whatnot. But like, it have a vibe to it and it's fine, I guess. You know what I mean? G Jones, who did the final verse, I thought he killed it with his verse, but the hook that Big X the Plug did, I didn't really care for, honestly. But it's like, alright.
What felt like a missed opportunity, and again, it's just me being an old head, I'll admit that, is that, yeah, they should have more, like, cash money people coming on this. Like, yeah, Juvenile should show up, or Turk, if you know who Turk was, right?
Yes.
Right, exactly. Get one of them young, which is not the hot boys to come through, something like that. Like, if you get that, And it would be a little more, and I swallow, the sugar would have made the medicine go down a little better, but now, boy.
Yeah,
It was
and that would have made for like that would have tapped back into that whole 2000s vibe that I know the song was going for. Then we
Somebody point out that Wayne was just trying to like tap into the new stuff, and somebody make a real like cynical joke. For you, make this joke. Oh, look, it really feel like he needed a Drake in his room. Like, you need a culture vulture type to say, all
oh
right, this is what hit. And that's another thing too. It had too much yes men mixed with culture vulturism kind of coming across. Like, he just
yeah.
want to tap into the new thing. Like, Lil Wayne, you don't have to do that.
No, like you already carved your legacy, Jed. You don't need to bother about trying to cater to trends, bro.
For that. There's no reason to do that though. Like, he gotta make more money. He's Lil Wayne. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, Ed Wayne. Real Wayne, he make these choices.
Right, but let's moving forward quickly, right? Sharks is not bad, right? I really dig Jelly Roll's hook. I thought that was really cool. And yes, I mean, just off the title, it's about, right? It's about sharks and people, you gotta look out for them vultures and whatnot, right? Big Sean kinda snapped. Like I don't know, but like that man was just pulling from some deep rooted aggression, boy. Cause that man was just like on that, but I was like, all right, Sean, like sorry, dude, sorry, right? Then things just sort of go slightly downhill, Dre. Where I felt it, boy, was with Band from NO, right? So, because I'm a hip hop head, right? There's a song called Band from TV, which features Noriega, Big Pun, Jadakiss, Styles P, and Nature, right? That has one of the best Swiss Beats instrumentals I have ever heard. And when you hear that original version, how it just blasts and booms, right? Especially when them horns come in that dun, 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 dun. You hear that and you lose your shit. I'm hearing a reworked version of this and they don't even hit as hard as Swiss Beats instrumental does. I just hearing this like, why does it feel so flat though? Like, what is this? Like, no, it just reminded me of a great song that came out in 98. And that song slaps so much harder than this Band from NO song, right? Then you hear the D's with Bono, sorry. And you're like, all right, pop rock song thing, all right. Bono do you think on the hook, not bad. And I found out after the fact that this was it was a song that was recorded like years ago, and Wayne in this infinite wisdom decided, hey, let me just throw it here because Bono in it. Like, all right, you know what I mean? But where I really felt that drop off, boy, was with Cotton Candy, boy, with 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
What is that beat, Dread? Like, is it like, I understand what you're trying to do is okay? The best way I could describe it is like how Young Jock did Coffee Shop. You want to have this la 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 song basically to describe drugsness. In this case, they're talking about, hey, a chick who like drugs and hey, cotton candy and blah blah. Just say like, what is that beat in the background? And then 2 Chainz, they even added too much shit. Like, I know these work good together, right? But nah, this felt so uninspired, right? And then just things just keep going down. But yeah, Flex Up, which was kinda okay, but it just didn't work for me. Alan Holiday, where dude took a Weezer song and rework it, right? Because dude had to do a rap rock thing again. I just feel like, why Wayne?
Yeah, because you're trying to be all eclectic and go outside the quote unquote comfort zone. But again, you have to make an effort for something like that. To me, you had to double up because like that's not your thing. See if you can make it mix now. And at no point, you got a sense of any kind of real effort. At least not to me.
Yeah, indeed. Then we have Loki's team and shipping, MCU lover me, right? Thinking, oh, we're gonna get a rap version of the team song. No, I didn't hear any beat. I waited for the I hear nothing. I just hear some song that is titled Loki's Team. I'm like, why is it called Loki's Team? Is he Loki? Is he the god of mischief? What going on? I not hearing a single thing, right? Then the man had to go out to end the song with like some rock performance in the end. I'm like, what? Why?
I'm saying that he didn't learn to play guitar. Like after all this time, he's still like pretty amateur at playing guitar, right? Like,
it was him. I didn't even know it was him. I thought there was some guest guitarist came in and did this thing.
I always thought he was like pushing himself to play a guitar. Like Wayne, you're not Prince. Like stop. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I could be wrong about this, but like I thought it was him trying to play guitar because he's always been that trying to do the rock star like a Whitney. But he does never get like that good at guitar though. Again, somebody could correct me and tell, no, you actually like really good or got way better. Like no, I just kind of sound like shit. Sorry.
Yeah. And boy, Then he hits Don't Stop Day Boy. The L's Don't Stop Day Boy. If I played guitar, Dread, I just sitting down hearing this, I like this feel like a bonus track that was supposed to be on Revered, Dread, back in 2010 or something like that, right? You're trying to give him a soft rock ballad, but it's you doing the same sort of crass, sexually charged lyrics, but you wanna do it all lovey-dovey, like if I play guitar, and you give him this very serene, like instrumentally background. They're like, again, what are we doing, Jared? What is this? At the point in time, I was asking myself, I'm missing something here. Like it's some,
me too.
like
Yeah, exactly.
it's something that he aiming at that I just didn't understand. It's some theme that he's trying to explore, or he's trying to show his versatility. It's just something at that point I was like, what's going on here?
No, it also felt, it really felt like he's just trying to go all eclectic and off the wall with it. Like, okay, going out of his bag, he's trying to do something, but none of it is so low effort, in my humble opinion. It really feels low effort. Listen, everybody jumped down Andrew 2000 thing over the piano thing, but like, that was like not meant to be released.
No, it was just him fucking around a little bit and he just put it out.
and people make it out as if, oh, you trying to pull out a big thing. I was like, no, like, it's fine. Like, that's why they really fight on Andrew for that. But this feel like that. Does feel like that, but like him trying to point out. It feels so low effort though. And he just felt like he was surrounded by way too many yes men. It really feel like that. Like, dude, you're not there to, like, why you there, Judd? Like, you're there to what? Just gas up Wayne, Judd? Like, nah, you don't know how to do that, Judd.
And speaking of yes men, Judd, we have to talk about the infamous song, right? Peanuts to Elephant. And the first time I hear this, I was like, all right, okay. I know the whole elephant puns and all that kind of stuff, right? But then again, I saw who produced it. I was like, what? Lin-Manuel Miranda? Hamilton in the Heights. And I should mention too, he also did, basically like his own sort of rap opera version of the Warriors. He actually put that out as an album. It was alright, not bad. Nice little tribute to the movie and whatnot, right? But it's like Lin-Manuel did this, right? And people's reactions to this song had me in stitches, right? There's like not montages, there's like videos of just collections of people reacting to this song. And it's just really
exactly. You gotta get drunk for this. Because I didn't know it was him, and I just listened to the song and I'm like, wait, but it's pretty fucking bad. Like, who produced this shit? And I dig it, and I kinda stopped the album and went back. And I scroll on TikTok and I see somebody making fun of Lin-Manuel. I said, wait, what? When Lin-Manuel do this? Yeah, check it up myself. Like, holy shit, when Lin-Manuel do this?
Yeah, boy.
No point for both of them.
What was so funny though is the Crash Bandicoot comparisons. Because when you really think about that, that is some Nintendo shit. I am still currently looking for like some gameplay video from Crash Bandicoot with that beat, with that song. I'm looking for that.
Which is not a big deal because you have so many, like, a handful of good hip hop songs that actually pull music video game references and make a good song out of it. Like, fucking everybody, Money Cash shows.
Yeah.
Money Cash shows,
Golden Axe. Yeah, that's classic, right? Like, again, shout out to Swiss Beats for that one, right? But just a wrap up my thoughts on the song, right? That first verse is all sort of ridiculous too. And yes, I understand the rhyme scheme, right? With the what up though and the snub nose and where it is trunk though. But they just keep cutting it with the sound effect and whatnot. I was just laughing at that point. Is the point where you talk about Snuffleupagus, but I got the snub nose had me cracking up, but I was cringing to it.
It's one of those cases. This is one of those cases where Wayne's strength turned into a weakness. Because, again, if it was cooked and properly done, this would have been it kind of working and flow well. Like, again, there's a dare there, but you just put the pizza in and put it in the oven.
Yeah.
I was always thinking like one of my favorite authors. He's great at this thing when it's time to describe stuff that's fantastical, but when it comes to like describing real world normal stuff, it just come across as tedious and boring. So his strength turns out weakness. Same thing with Wayne. Wayne is a guy who is the whole free association.
Yes,
right?
yes. Especially with the rhyme scheme that I mentioned. He could just go off with, do and this and close, like he would just keep rhyming. He could just keep going until the song ends if he wants to, right? Yeah, he can do that effortlessly, right? But when you're hearing the song, it's like, dog, like you wait, like you just pulling ideas out your ass, right? Like what the hell talking
No,
about?
no, no. I get it.
Or
That
what
you was right.
elephant ties? Or, sorry, what is this? What she say? Elephant legs or some shit to describe a woman. I can't
Right.
remember what it is right now.
No, but that's the thing. You could do like an interesting stream of consciousness approach to this. It's a the idea because you could do all kind of weird elephant puns and references. Like again, elephantiasis is the agile legs because that is a disease that make the legs big, and so on and so forth. You could do that.
Yeah.
I watching this and seeing all the rest, all the ingredients potentially coming together. But like, bro, you still have to put the pizza in the oven.
That's the thing.
I'll keep going back to the cooking metaphor. Like,
Yeah.
it just so undercooked though. Like I can't call it undercooked, right? It's just so bad. And I listen. I sure I got some people who be kind of recalcitrant and just I think this still good and this overheated. No, you're gonna have people like that. I expect it.
Yeah.
But this is really a low point for me. Right?
It
Let's
is.
wrap this up.
Yeah, there's just a couple more things about that song. I know that's the song everybody will be talking about, right? Also just the puns don't really work. Like that's when you really read the lyrics. Like sit down and read the lyrics. There's nothing clever or smart or even insightful about it, right? So I'll throw two examples, right? Going back to Carter 3, Phone Home, right? Or La La La, right? Yes, they had some cinematic production, right? You know, with Phone Home, it was the so you want to do the whole alien thing, right? La 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 was literally Wayne's daughter going la 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 la, but they were still clever bars. They were memorable moments, like the hook for La 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 started off hustling, ending up balling.
Right.
Yes, it's 2008 shit, but it was catchy as hell, right? And this one is and then the penis and elephant, pop the trunk, pop the trunk, pop the trunk. Pop the trunk. That's the best hook you could do. So even with the ridiculous wordplay that he does here, it just feels so low effort, right? Speaking of kids now, afterwards you get Rari, which features I think it's his youngest. No, actually one of his sons, Cameron Carter, right? And swear to God, the first time I heard the hook, right, with the I swear that was a woman, you know. I swear that was like some young girl who's doing it. I look up, I read up, oh, it's the man son doing it. Because they pitch shift the shit out of that man's voice. And fun fact, this is actually the son of both Wayne and Nivea. Remember Nivea from the early 2000s who said, don't mess with my man with Jagged Edge? Remember?
Yeah.
You don't remember? Okay, go on Google, or go on YouTube and find it out, right? But anyway, so then we have Maria, which features Andrea Bocelli, right? And Wyclef Jean. And going back to what I said before about Timbaland. Wyclef Jean is in a similar boat where, yes, you were big in the 90s and early 2000s, and now you're kind of settled, you're doing your own thing, right? And you know what I mean, as someone who, and when it comes to eclectic, right? I think he embodies that. And it's so funny because they have an album called The Eclectic Two Sides of a Book, right? That's the one which have 911, it have the song It Doesn't Matter with the Rock, you know what I mean? All that stuff, right? But yeah. So I was actually interested with him being on board because I know he's a guy who's like to experiment with genres a lot, right? So when I hear the Ave Maria song, right, which to me, I will always remember as the driving team behind that one movie called Hitman that nobody remembers. Remember the video game adaptation that came out in 2007? Timothy Oliphant, that one. The driving song was the Ave Maria song. That's what I remember it from, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's like the one thing I remember from that whole movie, right? But whatever. So when I hear this hip-hop Ave Maria thing, I'm like, all right. And I see Wyclef Jean thinking hip hop pro, which he did with the Fugees and Bounty Killer. Like, all right, okay, we're doing hip hop pro stuff. Okay, I thought that Wyclef's verse was actually solid. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah. And even Wayne actually step up to the plate and do his thing. Like, okay, all right. But I can imagine a lot of fans, especially newer fans, not caring for this song at all because it's Ave Maria, right? It's just and this to me is the main problem with the record, Dread. It just feels so inconsistent, Dread. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel cohesive at all. 1 minute it's just like soulful stuff, then it's southern stuff, then you jump to a rock song, and then you jump to elephants, and now we're doing opera. It's like, what? You know what I mean? But yeah, moving quickly, we have Being Myself. When I saw Manny Fresh, I was like, all right, well, he gonna at least say something in the beginning, young ladies or
Right.
something like that. It's like, nope, he just do the beat, and the beat
Right.
is good. It's good. It's soulful. It's not something that I normally associate Manny Fresh with. Like when I think Manny Fresh, I think The Block is Hot. I think Project
Right.
Chick. I think about those like southern songs, those southern hip hop songs. I don't think soulful music. But it's like, all right, you're doing something different. I don't mind hip hop tune 50. Okay, cool, right? But lyrically, it's just yeah, I like being myself, and I'll be with myself, and I'll play with myself, and she with myself, and myself, and myself. I like, all right, Wayne, I get it, I get it, but you didn't have to spend over 4 minutes telling her how much you love yourself. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it, right? 3 more songs to go. We have Mula coming, which features Lil Novi, right? Who is, believe it or not, the youngest of Lil Wayne's sons. Like when I heard Rari, I thought that Cameron was the youngest because of how they pitch shift his voice, right? But this dude who's like 14 years old is the youngest, right? And listen, no disrespect to Lil Novi, right? Who actually, okay, so I got this wrong, forgive me folks, but Cameron actually is the son of Lauren London, as in Nipsey Girl before Nipsey died, right? So that, right?
Right.
And Lil Novi is the son of Nivea. So I made a mistake there. My apologies, right? But boy, his verse was fucking cringe, boy. Oh my god.
Yeah, son.
And there's a moment like near the end of his verse. I don't know why they do it. They pitch shift that man's voice to and it sound horrible. I just feel like, cause you try like it's almost like you just trying to shove a Q-tip in my ear and just turn it drill. Like it's so cringe. But what is that?
I was gonna make a joke. Is like, oh, that way your ears are invested.
Yeah, boy. Like maybe it's because after I listened to this, my ears all screwed up, boy. But yeah, that man, and he opens the song. He opens the song with his verse and that hook. Oof, that was bad. That was bad, right?
Bro.
And then of course Wayne had to come in and compliment him. It's like, all right, okay. And I think, and there's this line that people was kind of talking shit about saying, oh, yeah, he's 14 and he could fuck your daughter while I could fuck your mom or some shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, but the nigga's 14, shit. I mean,
God, win.
anyway, and then like you see the album winding up, so you say, okay, something will happen, right? At least something good will happen, right? And then it dropped, in my opinion, the last L on this record, which is called "Alone in the Studio with My Gun." What the fuck, dude? Like, and I reading the lyrics, and I did like, oh, so this serious about this is another yes man moment, right? So you have MGK talk about, I'm alone in the studio with my gun. I know that's not how it goes, right? And then Kodak Black doing some unintelligible stuff on his second verse, right? But dog, you telling me, right? 2025 on an album called The Carter 6, which came out on June the 6th. Oh my god, devil, June 6th, right? And he also pokes fun at that through the album at some point in time, right? But the point is, you have a song talking about how you in the studio and you just so bitter about life and all that kind of stuff. You have a gun on you as literally you in the studio because every man Jack busts out, because that's what he says in the verse. Every man Jack busts out in the studio because they don't know what you're gonna do with that gun. And that is the theme of your song? That's the theme of your song, Gus? Nah.
Yeah.
Come better, right? Thankfully, the album ends off not strong, but it ends off decent enough with written history, right?
Right.
Now, here's the thing, right? Lyrically, man do anything, right? But I don't want to be a prude, folks. I don't want to be a prude, right? But it is one of those songs where every lyric ends with nigga. Like every lyric ends with that. And I know he have a rhyme and you rhyming, right? But when you hear that man just say the N-word again and again and again and again, it just makes him sound like he just lazy, like he just half-assing it. Like I know what he's saying, I know what he's trying to say, he's still one of the greats and whatnot, right? But it's just the way how that rhyme scheme goes to, especially with him always ending his bars with the end was like, oh gosh, man, like back in the 2000s we could have let that shit slide, but not now, like not now. I know that people who's complain about that shit a lot, right? Like why go rhyme nigga with nigga, right? But in this case, like, oh gosh, I know you're rhyming stuff before it, but gosh, stop now. Like this is the end of the album, so yeah. Even on a track that tries to redeem the rest of the album, it just shoot itself in the foot, right? Because the overuse of the N-word, right? But I'll stop there, right? So yeah, as we wrap things up, boy, I only listened to this twice, and honestly, I just didn't really feel the need to re-listen to it though. But I will say, right, over the course of after the first two listens and next day, yeah, I was going up on YouTube and watching people reactions. How Sean C reacted to it. We still at the time of us recording this waiting for Auntie Fantano to say something. I know he will say something. I know he has something to say about it, right? I would not be surprised if he say it's a not good record, right? And he do the fake explosion thing, right? But yeah, this album is just not good, man. It's just undercooked. And well, as you say, it wasn't even put in the oven as yet, right? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just a reaction to what Kendrick say, like just subconscious reaction to what Kendrick say on the first song, sorry, of GNX. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a matter of relevancy, seeing that this is like his first studio album since 2020 or thereabout. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it, but to me, it just reeks of a lack of focus. It just really feels like Wayne is at a stage in his career, like in his early 40s, and he's just not sure where he's going. Do I bring my young sons to rap alongside me? Do I do pop rap songs? Do I do rap rock songs? Do I talk about elephants? Do I step out of my comfort zone and work with people like Lin-Manuel Miranda? You know what I mean? Do I work with icons like Wyclef Jean? Do I do old school hip hop throwbacks like Bells? Like, what do I do, Dread? You know what I mean? And this album just feels like a whole bunch of ideas. Like, all right, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? What do I do? I just put all of them on a 19-track album, release it on June the 6th, and say, here, folks, here, Will, here's the Carter 6. As I said, if it was under a different name, like, say, Funeral, I would have been like, all right, okay, well, at least it's not Carter. Okay, cool, but this is Carter 6, as I said, that is known for just top-tier lyricism from the beginning, right? Even if we can make the argument that 5 is kind of forgettable, right? Which it is, admittedly, right? But when it comes to top quality, I know Stans could say, well, the mixtapes are cheap, but now when it comes to top quality, is the Carter series. I'm sorry.
No, at least with 5, you can understand why people would like 5. Like, I get it. Like, even though I don't like 5, I get why people would like 5. So I could still hold it to that standard. But this way, no.
Yeah, boy. And I'll close this, right? Forgive my stance for saying this, sir. I have a slot, right? As far as worst album of the year, right? I have it there, warm and ready, right?
Warm and ready, yep.
For
you know,
Kanye West's. That's a for Kanye West's album. Whether you call it World War III or Cock, whatever it is, that is there. And I was just wondering, I wonder if this man gonna drop it, if he was gonna drop that record before Carter 6. I know he doesn't know when albums drop and then he's make a big song and dance, right? And of course, with the announcement of, Clip's album is coming out, well, I can't wait to see what he does. I don't know if he's gonna drop his record before Clip's. I don't know.
Not everything involving mass appeal. That had me hyped.
Yes, boy. I know he's supposed to get a Slick Rick album this month. I am excited. Right. There's all hell for that. Yeah,
exactly. So that got overshadowed all of this shit. Like, listen. The only thing with this is that it's not forgettable. Like but geez, boy, that's so bad. Like, I didn't really not talking about it because it was so bad. It was like such a shock that how bad this is. Though.
Yeah. So lastly, right? So even though I have a spot on my number 1 for Kanye album, I really don't want to put Carter 6 up there as the worst, sir. Because I still think that, Will Smith's Based on a True Story was much worse than this, right? But this was such, just in terms of what it was about and just the messages and all that kind of stuff, right? But this here is just such a disappointment, right? That I am like just all the videos, all the reactions that you'll see on YouTube and TikTok and IG, right? Especially when it comes to penis to an elephant, right? Are much deserved in my opinion, boy. We just sort of let us down with this, right? You're right, though. He just really should have just gone back to the drawing board and just really just figured out, okay, how I feel about it is like, all right, if where I'm at in my life, where he's at in his career, figure out a trajectory and go through that. With Carter 3, at least from what I remember from it, right? It felt like, all right, this was me at the top now. This is my victory lap album. I reach here, I work my ass off to reach this point, right? So you can get mad at me for singing songs about lollipops, but dog, I am a lyricist extraordinaire, and that's what he showed on that record, right? He was cocky with it as well too, but there was a clear focus. It was about me saying, look, put me in your top 5. That was what Carter 3 was about to me, and that's why that still remains his masterpiece in my opinion. This one, I mean, cut to like what, 7 years? Sorry, cut to what, 17 years later, and we're just like, and to me, it just feels like he just doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know what to talk about. He doesn't know what to say, right? That's why when a guy like Lin-Manuel Miranda throw a video game beat at you, and with some elephant sound effects, he just say, here's what, pop the trunk, pop the trunk. Nah, man. We deserve better than this, right? So for me, strong 2 to a very light 2.5 out of 5. I want my money back, but at the same time, if you're curious, and it's ironic, the same thing I said about Will Smith's record, right? If you're curious, listen to it. Please listen to it from top to bottom. Don't just pick Peter Said Elephant, because that's why everybody laugh at that, right? Listen to the whole thing and make your judgment from it, right? Judgment from it, right? And close this, right? Peter Said Elephant is such a huge L that even Double Toasted thought something about that, Double Toasted Bites, right. the Paul segment talk. Reacting to the song. It's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny. But that all goes to show, like, this is not what we want from Wayne. Like, come on, man, do better. But yeah, last thoughts, if you want to rate it, and we move on.
Yeah, I say everything I need to say. I mean, it's just, this is a serious low point. Again, Wayne should have just, cut this in half and then, have it tight together a little better and make some of these ideas work a little better. I don't know. Like, I don't make albums, so it's fine. But geez, way, this was rough. It was a rough. It's not a great time to be a Wayne fan right now. That is all I'll say.
You want to rate it or you're good? You don't have to if you don't want to, no.
1 out of 5. I don't remember telling you. 2 out of 10. It really had too little to me to enjoy it. And this coming from a Wayne fan, I still have Wayne in my top 5. But jeez, boy, this, it edged about now, boy. I know, boy. I don't know, boy.
Yeah, boy. Back to the drawing board, boy. But hey, Clips album coming out, so boy. But I will be so heartbroken if that album fails it. But going back to what you said. One artist, or I should say in this case 2 artists, 1 producer. Clips,
1 producer, yeah.
Pharrell.
Clips, Pharrell.
Again,
Pharrell.
once again, the return. That's what we wanted. So
I love that with his Ace thing.
Oh gosh, Ace is something. I forgot the name of the song right now. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that hard. And boy, Pusha. Actually, not even Pusha. Both Pusha and Malice too. Both of them kill the verses, boy. Holy shit.
Both of them cook.
Yeah, both of them cook. Yeah, boy. What is that, right? So yeah, at least we have that to look forward to, and the Slick Rick album that coming out later this month, hopefully, right? But yeah, we'll just laugh at Wayne for a little bit more about elephants or whatnot, and then we'll just move on to the next project, right? So it is what it is.